Yellow.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's finally working. Thank you, Lucas.
I just clicked two radio buttons. That's it.
Yeah, I was trying to make it live, so it wasn't working.
Yeah. I'll write to I still have a contact with in Restream, so I hope they can renew again.
Okay, nice. Okay, let's get started. Okay, no, let's just wait for 2 minutes to see if others are gonna join. Um, then if not, we are gonna keep the ball rolling.
Cool.
So how are you doing, guys?
Um, I'm just here, man, doing my thing.
Hey, Ben.
Nice to meet you guys.
Hey there. Thanks for
Hey,
joining.
Ishan.
Hey.
Oh, Ben.
I'm waiting to pick my kids in the school. So yeah, I have 30 minutes. I hope we have enough time for that. Yeah, it's great to see you all again. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely,
excited.
man.
I'm
Definitely.
excited to have Isan here to speak about the cool project he built and see what are your thoughts about that.
Nice, nice. Looking forward to this meeting.
Yeah, I hope I don't let you down.
No, you can never let us down.
I mean, expectations are pretty high.
Yeah,
No pressure.
Yeah, just kidding, man. Just do your thing.
yeah.
Hey, come on, I
Okay.
speak for yourself.
2 minutes up, guys. Okay, hey everyone. Welcome to today's community meeting. I'm Ace, your host as usual. Yeah, I love hosting community meetings and any other meeting. Without no further ado, let's get started. Oh, we have Tuli. Hey, Tuli.
Hey, what's up?
Ah, nice, cool. Oh, we meet again.
We meet again.
That didn't sound like you're happy.
So let's get started. Welcome to this community meeting. In today's community meeting, I really don't have much of an agenda, but yeah, we have some really interesting folks that joined live. So don't let me keep blabbing. So just go into it. First and first, I want to share. If you checked the last community meeting, you noticed I mentioned the evaluation phase for the mentorship program, right? And yes, I promise to keep you folks updated in the next community meeting. So we have successfully completed the first evaluation phase of the mentorship program, which is really nice, and I'm really happy about. It went really smoothly. We got a lot of feedbacks from both mentors and mentees, and we also I got a lot of candidates, a lot of contributors that are really looking forward to the next mentorship program that is happening next year. Hey Maya, how you doing? So Maya is joining live on YouTube. So we have some really interesting feedbacks from the mentorship program and something amazing. So I know I'm not supposed to be saying this in the community call, but I think it is necessary just to see how well the program has improved unlike last year, right? So during the first evaluation phase, right? Mentees are
sorry, sorry, I have to disturb you because just
Yeah,
to
sure.
make it before you say it out loud, wanted to give you an idea from an adult. I'm old enough to tell you that if something if something behind your head tells you to not speak out loud at the public meeting, then maybe you shouldn't do it.
No, I want to do it because I'm excited about it. So you can, yeah, I should, man, because it's really interesting to me. So as part of the mentorship program, if once the first evaluation phase has been completed, mentees are expected to request for half of their stipend, right? So interestingly enough, there's actually a mentee in the program, right? That didn't request for a stipend because she felt or he felt she hasn't done enough to request for the stipend, right? And I was shocked. I was really surprised. I was like, oh no, but why? Why would you want to do that, right? And I was happy about how open she was, right? About, hey, Ace, I don't really think I should request for the stipend right now. I mean, that was so honest. I mean, the communication was open and it was also there in our feedback, right? And I just felt so happy about this. And yes, she's still working pretty hard to like complete the mentorship program. And I was like, compared to last year, I mean, this didn't happen. None of this happened when it comes to like communicating openly to the mentor or to the organization, to the folks like organizing this mentorship program. So yeah, just want to put it out there that we have these amazing feedbacks from folks, both from the mentor and the mentees. And yeah, so these feedbacks are what we're going to use as insight for on how to run the program next year and the following years to come, right? So we have the mentees are already requesting, or some of them have gotten paid for part of their stipend. Some of them are still waiting to get paid, which is really nice. We have all of these open. So if you're interested in checking how they are being paid, so we have these budgets for the mentorship program in Open Collective. Thanks to Wukash for creating that, made it very easy. I mean, I just felt like a boss. I was just approving. So it's out there in Open Collective. Just go to the SNKPI Open Collective page and you can click under the mentorship directory, right, to see the budget allocated for the mentorship program. And yes, so we are looking forward to an amazing mentorship program to see. And I'm pretty positive that it should keep going smoothly, like it is currently going, right? So that is a small update I want to share about the mentorship program, right? Which is super nice. The next thing I want to talk about is Oktoberfest, right? So I think today is the last day of Oktoberfest. And I think I can't really say, but I think we had some really interesting turn-ups for this year's Oktoberfest. I mean, almost all the issues I created for the Oktoberfest were being like engaged. So I'm looking forward to doing the whole calculations for the Oktoberfest. And yeah, we promised to gift swag to some of the top contributors for the Oktoberfest. Yeah, so we are still keeping our promise. So I'm going to write an article about the contributions for Oktoberfest, like we did last year and like we did a year before. So yeah, I'm going to write an article, and yeah, I'm going to have this list of top contributors in the article. So if you find yourself there, we definitely owe you a swag. So we are sending a swag to you. I mean, I don't know if we are going to send it, but I think Barbanos, shout out to Barbanos, she's doing something really interesting about the SNKPI swag store, right? So instead of we, you know, going through the stress of like finding how to like send swags to you and stuff, so we don't do that anymore. You just get a coupon like where you can just use on the website to purchase the swag, right? So and voila, you get the swag shipped to you. So yeah, if you find yourself in this list, you would be enabled or you'll be eligible to like request for your swag for your contributions during this Oktoberfest period, right? So that is the little update I have about the Oktoberfest. Looks like Wukash wants to say something. Is getting closer to the mic.
I just wanted to confirm that the swag shop for SNKPI, it's right behind the corner. I think next week probably.
Yeah, I saw the preview and I was like,
yeah. And I was like, probably tomorrow. No, tomorrow I'm out. But yeah, I'll set up the redirection. So it's gonna be probably shop.snkpi.com. So yeah. And I think the folks from Hacktoberfest will probably be like guinea pigs for testing the swag shop and the delivery. So
Yeah,
they will be the
definitely.
first ones to get this nice t-shirts.
Yeah, cool, nice. I'm looking forward to it, Wukash. Yeah, so before I continue, I think we have Tuli. So I really want to like make I've been seeing a lot of this bounty program discussion going on. So I'm not really involved in bounty program. So but I get a lot of folks like reaching out to me, hey, say hey. So I'm like, oh, I'm not involved in bounty program. So I just keep redirecting them to Tuli. Tuli, do you mind like giving us updates on what is happening while we getting so much comment about bounty program? Is it back up?
Okay, cool. First of all, I'm not in charge of bounty. I'm like the guardian of the bounty now, but I'm not in
Guardian
charge
of the
of bounty
Galaxy.
anymore. So yes, I'm now the guardian. I'm just looking, I'm just supporting, but I'm not like the direct person. So we have amazing folks that are now running the bounty program. We have our shed, we have Maya, and we have Abir, who are now in charge of the bounty program. So they are now the go-to people for the bounty program. But yeah, just to give an overview of what's going on. So after the trial of the bounty program, which was a success, by the way, so we are now rolling out the official bounty program. So now maintainers can submit their issues that they would like to feature in the Q4 of the bounty program. So maintainers, if you don't have time to work on that issue, please just drop it on the bounty program. Let me quickly share the link. That is if it's nearby. Okay, Ace, can you share it? I'm dropping it on the chat.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're a maintainer and you have an issue that you would like for somebody to work on, please kindly drop it on the bounty issue discussion. Then the issue section closes on the 3rd of November. So after the 3rd of November, just make sure you join the bounty channel on Slack. All the updates will be communicated there. And yeah, please be patient. It takes time. Just be patient, wait for updates. But if you have any questions, like how should you go about it, we also have like a guideline document where you can check out how the bounty works, how the submission, like the issue assignment works, like priority, we prioritize maintainers, regular contributors, then the other, like the maintainer gets to choose what kind of criteria they'll to assign a person. So make sure you also like go through the bounty rules. I'll also paste a link on that as well. Yeah, so for more information, make sure you join the bounty program, the bounty channel on Slack. Most of the details will be communicated to you via Slack. Yeah. So I'm also sharing the document for the bounty rules. Yeah. So
Nice.
that is also, that is also for the bounty. Any
So yeah,
questions?
Ace basically stopped sending people to Tuli.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, every time I wake up and I see the Slack notification, I'm like, hey, if I catch you.
Yeah, I mean, thanks. I also want to like point something out about the bounty program, which I believe a lot of folks keep mixing up. It's actually about who can pick a bounty issue, right? And if I'm not wrong, I think maintainers are top priority, right, Tuli?
Yes. Maintainers,
Okay.
regular contributors, and then if you're not a regular contributor, but you're interested in the bounty, and if nobody else is interested on the bounty issue, the maintainer can now decide what criteria should they assign the bounty to. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. But I also have a question, Tuli. But I mean, it would have really made sense if we have one of the folks overseeing the program on the call. But yeah, I can definitely join the discussion and ask my question. But first, let me just ask, since you also like kind of oversee program or guide the program, right? So do we have, like, let's say there is a bounty issue, right? And the issue has been open for let's say a couple of weeks, and no maintainer has picked it up yet. Is there like a deadline of for the amount of days the issue can be open before like a regular contributor can pick it up?
No, the issue will be open until like the bounty program quarter closes. So if let's say like this month there's nobody showing interest on the issue, maybe they don't have time or they are not confident. Definitely, as long the issue is open and as long the bounty quota is open, you should definitely reach out and apply.
Okay, I think that makes more sense, because I was thinking maybe you would have to like wait till maybe until when no maintainer or no top priority folks shows interest before you can say you're interested. Yeah, that makes sense.
The most important to know is that it might be that some maintainer do not accept someone who's not a regular contributor, because in the end the bounty issues, they're not good first issues, they're more complex, sometimes medium, sometimes advanced. So it might be that a maintainer that created the bounty issue and is supposed to guide and make sure that it's implemented, might be that maintainer will say, no, it's only for experienced contributors. If you're not experienced contributor, then I'm not accepting your contribution, because like in the end, I don't commit to have time to onboard you, for example, or something like this. So yeah.
Yes, just to add emphasis on that. Yeah. Just to add emphasis on that, the bounty program is not a mentorship program. It's for like advanced people. So maintainers don't have time like to onboard and show you what to do. So yes, they are there to guide you on what to do, but at least you need to have like medium knowledge on the issue and what is needed. So please make sure you don't pick an issue that is complex for you, because if you fail to do so, I think there is still the bounty penalty. Yes, there is the bounty penalty. So make sure you pick an issue that you think is best for you, best for your skills. Because I can't go and pick an issue in CLI. It doesn't make sense. Lucas would just say, Tuli, are you really? Really? CLI? You don't have experience in that, so just make sure you pick an issue that complements your skills.
Yeah, thanks for the explanation, Tuli. Thanks, Lucas. So before we move on to the next thing, we have an amazing person, Ishan. I mean, this is my first time seeing Ishan. Ishan joined the community recently, and he has something amazing to share with all of us today. Ben, if you're still there, I mean, Ishan is taking the line.
Hey, yep. Hello. So yeah, I'll give a basic introduction. So yeah, I'm Ishan. I'm from Mumbai, India, and I actually worked on a project called GitHub Open API Search over Google Summer of Code. Initially, as the name suggests, it was meant for Open API schema, but recently I had to talk with Benja, and he suggested that Async API would actually be a good place to migrate the project over to, and like in some way I could build in front of the project that I've already built, which is which was my goal in the start. So yeah, I'm just going to give a brief presentation on the project. So should I just share my screen?
Yes, you can. Let's
All
see.
right.
Yeah, you can share now.
All right. Let me make sure I'm on the right. Yep. So yeah, GitHub Open API Search, as you can see, it was for Postman as an organization for Google Summer of Code. The main problem statement about that we were trying to fix was like provide an easier way to look for like valid open API documents on GitHub and by using the GitHub API. So we had three main challenges that we could think of. First of all, obviously there's a lot of noise on GitHub. There's way too many files. Just to some numbers that I have here, there are 372 million repositories on GitHub. So it's a lot of noise that you have to work through. And if you're actually looking for specifically open API files, using the GitHub search is not the best way to do it. You would have to probably put in a complex search query and do some thinking before you actually search. So what this project is intended to do is make that process a lot easier. There is also the problem of ever-changing repos. GitHub has files that are constantly changing, and having the latest version of each OpenAPI schema is as important. There is also the rate limit issue. The GitHub API actually, so they introduced the new code search API. They introduced the new search overall on GitHub recently, and it is still being built. It's still limited. So even if you suppose, for an example, you look for, you just do a normal search on GitHub, the highest amount of results you can get is just 500. And so that is it. The code search API is still quite limited. They're obviously building on top of that. But even then, it's still tough to look for specifically any schema-based files. So that is what we essentially wanted to make easier here. So yes, our solution. So we divided it into more like 4 sub-problems. Obviously, looking for valid open API files using the GitHub API. We used Elasticsearch we just came up to the Elasticsearch, like using Elasticsearch as a database later on in our journey. But yeah, validating these files and bulk loading them onto Elasticsearch, building a search interface on top of it to look for these files in a good way, and also keeping the database updated and making sure the updating process is efficient with the latest version of the file. So yeah, and now I'll just go deeper into how we actually looked for solutions for each of these sub-problems. So finding finding the open API files on GitHub was the main crucial problem that we were trying to solve. And with this, we wanted to use go with the path of the GitHub API. And I did a bunch of research on what would be a good way to look for these files. You can think of a lot of ways that you can just scroll through the repositories, look there, or look through different organizations. But we then went to just using the code search API, which has a very low rate limit. And as I mentioned, it was still limited. So it was result limited to the top 1,000 results I've written here, but actually it was just around 500. And even then, it did not even have an exact approximation of how many files there must be in the search result. So we ended up using a search query. I did a bunch of research on what would be the most efficient way to use the GitHub API to get the results that we want. And we ended up on using like an exact text search. So if you're familiar with the OpenAPI schema syntax or the Swagger syntax, it usually starts with an OpenAPI 3 or a Swagger double quotes 2 at the start. So that's what we used, and we used to add that suffix, and we did a bunch of other stuff too. We also narrowed down our scope because like getting through all of the files on GitHub is obviously a bigger problem to solve. And so we have narrowed down our scope to using like the top 2,000 organizations on GitHub. And we use the GitStar ranking to actually rank those organizations. And so yeah, just based on that, we used to go through all the organizations and get the open API files. So I'll move on to the next problem. So validating and bulk loading them to Elasticsearch. So validation was easy. I used the library to actually validate the open API files. And then the main problem actually we solved here was the duplicate issue. Since there are a lot of duplicate files on GitHub, and as we also want to solve the update issue later on, solving the duplicate issue was the primary concern here. So we used the ETag unique ID that GitHub provided for every change. And that way we also saved up on a lot of rate limits, as well as we solved the duplicate issue. And for our solution for the problem 1 and 2, we called it active search, and this was what active search was. So yeah, just pretty much everything I described right now, like how we were actually taking from GitHub and loading it to our database. We built an interface on top of the GitHub API to load it to our database. So this is what we called active search. Now the third problem was actually putting a search interface on top of these files and looking for it in an easy way. So we used Elasticsearch for this. I asked a couple of experienced people at Postman actually to what would be a good way to build this out. So we discussed a bit and we ended up on Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch has a lot of ways to actually um, search for these files, and it has a very easy ways to integrate search functionalities. It's in the name. It's called Elasticsearch. So yeah. Um, we also wanted to do things like multi-field search and wanted to boost certain fields, which Elasticsearch helped us do very easily. And we used what I've highlighted here called the simple query string syntax, which is just a way of searching. And it is actually very similar to the GitHub way of searching. So we wanted to keep it as similar as we could to that, and it's entirely fault tolerant. We called this component of our architecture the passive search. So yeah, this is just the query string that we use to, so as you see, like we were doing multi-field search and we used to boost certain fields up higher, so it gave more relevant results. And this was the passive search architecture that we had. The things that we were like looking for is, I'll show you later in the live demo. We also, now the last problem, which is also pretty interesting to solve, updating the database with the latest GitHub API files. So along with these conditional requests that I already said, we used to just scroll through the database, and the old files, we actually used to make a chain out of it, so that we had a log of all the files that have been soft deleted. And that was the way we actually kept the database updated and made sure that the files that we have are the latest version. This also helped with rate limits a lot, because e-tag requests or conditional requests, they don't actually trigger rate limits on GitHub. So while we were dealing with that lower rate limit, which is still our bottleneck, this helped out a lot. So yeah, this is what we ended up with. We had around 3,000 validated OpenAPI and Swagger files from the top 2,000-ish GitHub organizations. It was actually a bit more than this, but yeah, this is what I have here. We made an API interface for the GitHub Code Search API to accurately look for OpenAPI Swagger files, as I mentioned, with Active Search. And we built a multi-field search experience for validated OpenAPI files using what I call passive search. And all of these operations, we use minimal downtime. However we could optimize it, we have tried to. And we use batch processing every step of the way, so as we had like stateless functions. And we curated a collection of these OpenAPI and Swagger files. And yeah, I don't think I need to read anymore. Yep. So yeah, I'll just show a quick live demo. So I'll just show you.
Moment of truth.
Yeah, moment of truth. That's actually not so impressive, because so I'll come to that why it's not so impressive, and why I want to make it better in this way. So first of all, as you see here, this is the passive search API. So this was what we initially targeted. So for GSOC, one of the deliverable that we were targeting was actually just building an API out of it. But then I think this would serve better as a website, which is what I'll come to later on. So as you can see here, this basically stat ranks the search results that we have. And you can see all the OpenAPI data here. We've also segregated it into different things, so it helps with the search. And so yeah, this is our passive search API. I know this does not look very impressive, but yeah. So we also had the active search API, which is just an interface on top of the GitHub API. And so the thing that actually I want to build in as my future scope, I would say, is actually build a better interface and slash website for this. So basically build a website on top of this search interface. So what I have right now is which it looks like this. It's just an HTML template I'm surfacing. For example, I'll just look for Twilio. So yeah, and so it's a very basic UI that I've built out, and this is actually what I want to improve on. As you can see, it's very bare bones, it's very low effort. This is what I built just to have something to an interface to show, because I didn't think the API interface was the best way to showcase the project. So this is actually what I want to build out on. I also have, like, this was just an admin panel that I used, and so if you want to see the update, how the update looks, actually that's quite boring, but yeah, you can see the logs here where it goes through all of the files. It says it has not changed, it has not changed, and eventually it will find something that has changed and it will soft delete that and bring in the newer file. Okay, so I don't think I recently ran it, so I don't think there'll be any updates, but yeah. So this is the live demo, and I know it does not look very impressive, but I intend to make it look more impressive by building a website on top of it. There are also other things that I wanted to do. Obviously, extending to other API specifications, especially Async API, as I talked with Benja, because I think this was something that you guys might like and it might bring value to the community. So that was in it, and I wanted to build alongside a community, because building alone it gets kind of boring at times, and that's why I wanted to migrate to the Async API community, because I know you guys have a vibrant community and like people who could help out, and that's why yeah, I'm here. So yeah, extend to other API specifications and also other kind of files, and yeah, this is just what I learned through GSOC. This was my mentor throughout GSOC, and yep, that's pretty much it.
Impressive, man. Impressive work. Like, so I have so many questions. You ready?
Yeah, sure. I'm up for it.
So I understand you optimized it so only the first run basically is kicked by the rate limits, because it has to like build up the database. More or less, how much time it takes to go through this 80,000
It takes a while.
results?
So if it goes for around, like, for 2000 organizations, it takes around 3 hours or so for the initial loading time. The update, obviously, it's an iterative process, so it takes like often however many files we have, and but update is still quite quick. It's actually, so the bottleneck over here is still the GitHub API. It's not anything else. So we just try and optimize it in that way, that we were batch processing and completely running something while we were stuck on the rate limit. So yeah.
Yeah. But like in the end, if it's just a problem with first run, it's fine.
Yep.
Like basing on ETAG, doing it on the ETAG was a really clever idea. So in our case, so you had initial search found 80,000 results.
Yep.
But in the end, 3,000 were valid. So you mean you found 80,000 files, or 80,000 is a general number?
So
then you validated, and then
I think I didn't explain it actually correctly. So obviously we could look through a lot of files, but even though we wrote that search query and we found the filtered result actually contained this amount of files. This is obviously an approximation, but the filtered result actually contained this amount of files, and we ended up with around 3,500-ish valid OpenAPI spec files.
okay. So, and valid, you mean like you basically fetched the file, run through some validator, and confirming that it's valid?
Yep.
Okay. you mentioned something that I'm not sure what you meant, like duplications, that you had this situation that you had duplications of files. What does was it because of you didn't had the ETAG validation? That's why you mean duplication, that the same files were showing up in the results, or
No. So I'll tell you about that. So the update thing, is that what you're talking about? The update API?
Not sure if it was about so basically you're using GitHub Search API, which means you're ignoring forks, right?
Yep.
Which might be a bit
Yeah.
problematic, but I think it's just few probably not many files. But the question is like, because you explicitly said something like duplications, that some files were duplicated. Not sure if it was related to update, can't recall. But if you say it was about update, then it's probably update. So what did you mean by this duplication?
The duplication thing, right? Okay. So the ETAG thing worked in two ways, right? So once we discovered the ETAG thing, it also helped with the duplicates thing. So if suppose we ran the load script twice, or we ran active search twice. So what we actually also do, which I didn't, which is just coming to my head right now, is we use active search to actually actively fill in our database. So we don't need to run update for everything. We just need to like, if people are using active search, it is also actively filling into the database. And because of that, it could lead to duplication. So we used ETAG as our unique key in the database, which helped with the duplication. Also for the update process, it helped because of the rate limit, as I mentioned. So that is why I mentioned both of those things, if that makes sense.
Okay, makes sense.
So, okay, so I wanted to show something more. So the update thing, I just actually ran it right now. So this is what it looks like. So these are all not changed, but it actually found an updated file, which is valid, which is this file. So it soft deletes the other one and it creates the new one. So that is what I meant by the update API. So this will just go on. This is an iterative process, and yeah.
So it was soft deleted because new version of ETAG.
Yep.
Okay.
So an ETAG. So if you make a new pull request and actually edit the file, the ETAG would change.
Yes.
So that's how we actually detect if the file has changed and if we want to drag in a new version of the file.
Makes sense.
So even this is another case where the file actually does not exist anymore and has been deleted. So we just delete it without a newer version of it.
I see Akshat asking question in the chat. So why do you run script twice or 3 times? But
the active search script?
Akshat, you have to specify if
I'm guessing he would he
yeah.
was saying the
Yeah.
I think similar question to you, the why the duplication error would come up. So what we were also doing is using active search to also fill into our database, because all the new files would not be detected by the update, right? So we would probably have to run that load script again and again, and that's where the duplication problem comes in.
Okay, so probably your ETAG is for each particular file actually defines the version to
Yep,
which it
pretty
has
much.
updated.
Pretty much.
Okay, fine. Are you taking any account of commit ID as well for that particular repo or that particular account, something like that?
Not yet. So what this actually, we relied on ETAG because ETAG also, even between commits, if that file specifically has not changed, then the ETAG would not
Okay.
update. So like we just stuck to the like keeping a good history of the Open API file, if that makes sense.
Okay, so the ETAG then probably is unique for that particular files.
Yep.
So
That
there can be a
particular file
duplication
for that
of
particular
the
version.
ETAG is not a very unique thing for all the files. It is specific to one file for different versions, like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, if it comes to querying the data, so you showed example where you just provide a simple string like Google Analytics, and you're able to find the actually Google Analytics API, Open API file. Do you have, I didn't get the difference between active and passive. So do you also have, like, so maybe I'll give you context. So I'm super interested with what you do from a perspective of Async API spec maintainer, because because whenever we get some requests, like add something to servers or add something to components or whatever, we're kind of like in the wood, in the forest during the night without flashlight. We're like trying to explore, find what, like how people use it, etc. So I immediately think about like, yeah, I mean, however you call your search, let's say super search, then I go, so my question is if I can go to super search and say like, hey, super search, return all the Async API documents or Open API documents that have servers specified. And if there's no servers object in your Async in your Open API document, then just don't return them. Do you have this like a filter rather than search?
So that is what I actually meant by the multi-field search. So like you saw those different fields that I was returning in the API, right? So the multi-field search actually stat rank based on all of those fields. So for example, I'll yeah, so if you see here, like through all of these fields, it was running the multi-field search. So even if you look at the search query that I had, so this was the search query actually, where the numbers that you see on top is actually the boosting number that we had. So it's looking through all of these fields simultaneously and boosting each of the. Suppose if we find something in the title that is probably more useful. Obviously, these numbers could be played around. Since we haven't experimented a lot with users, we would not know that what is the best balance for the search. But definitely something we could play around with and find a good balance.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. And I think so. One more thing that you talked about was the filters thing. So like actually filtering and looking through a field itself. We use something called the simple query string syntax. Let me just show you through that. So this also has like complex queries within itself, as well as it supports like if I only want to look through the title, then it will only look through the title and stuff around that as well.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah, definitely there's still a lot of work to do here. Some of the backend things I think are pretty clear. Like we could probably build a website on top of this quite easily, but definitely there are still things to work out. One thing that I built this project in a way that it could be extended to any other specification. So it would be very easy, for example, to migrate to an async API search, for example. And the only thing we actually have to differentiate from OpenAPI is just the search query a little bit and an actual validator. That is the only two components that we have to defer to actually onboard a new specification. And that's a very easy switch to do.
Okay. Could we expect you to make a simple test? Like, because the thing about Async API and Open API is that with Open API, it's easy in the way that it's usually describing public APIs. That's why people keep it on GitHub in open. While Async API is usually describing internal communication. So even if it's on GitHub, my direct assumption is it's probably in private repo. So could you, whenever you have a moment, try to see if actually anything Async API can be found. Like, I bet some examples from Async API will be there. But like, if there are really any organizations that, because we only know about Slack, that they have their repository with Async API files, public Async API files, but others don't talk much about it in
Yep.
public.
That makes sense. So maybe I can make a pet test out of it. That sounds great. Yeah.
And if you need someone to help out, especially validate, because that's what I think you mentioned, like that's the biggest problem when you're building the tool, but you're not getting any feedback from anyone, so it's hard to find motivation to work on it.
Yeah.
Then I'm all yours, as long as we can really find something with the search. I mean, I commit that I'll find people here that can give you feedback, because like we have at least 4-5 code owners of the spec, and I think all of them will be interested to have an access to such tool. It's rather just a discussion forward, like how we can help, how you can help, and figure out things.
Yep, that sounds great actually. So what I really wanted for this project was to build it forward, build it so it actually has value and brings value to other people. So that's why I just want to build this project forward. And yeah, let's see if it's a good fit.
Yeah. And I definitely promise that once we finish this live stream, we have the recording from YouTube. I'll mention in the specification channel all the code owners for them to already have a look on the concept. But I can already tell you, like, in the past, I was like, oh my God, it's so needed. I need to write it. But of course, there are so many things that you don't have time for this nice pet projects.
Yep.
So like, that's really amazing work you've done.
Yeah, thanks. That's really nice to hear.
And Benjamin, thank you for connecting us.
Yeah, any other question? Yeah, I mean, I have a question, but I would definitely ask in the discussion. So I think it's better having discussion because of the time. So we are gonna start a discussion. I have so many questions. So we're gonna start a discussion and about the project. And yeah, so I think that would be the best way to like push it forward. So yeah, I would definitely create that discussion and like mention you. Do you mind like sharing your GitHub handle on Slack after the call? You're on mute.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. I'll message.
Yeah,
Yep.
cool. Yeah, thanks, Ishan. I'm looking forward to seeing these amazing projects come to life.
Yep, me too.
So Tuli, you have anything you want to share? I bet Tuli is still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, nice.
You want me gone? You want me gone? I can go.
Nice. Okay, you have anything you want to share?
Okay, so we are heading to Bengaluru on the 30th of November. So tickets are now on sale. So if you are looking forward to meet us, make sure you are in Bengaluru, India, and we hope to see you. Ace will be there, Lucas will be there. Oh, Akshat.
Akshat, why
Okay,
you're not gonna be there?
next time. Yeah, why?
My the graduation exams are there at that time. And at the end, like I have to like even I told Lucas about it that I had to take some of the 6-month internship for next sem. So probably will be busy on that.
Oh. All the best, eh? Lucas is very sad. Oh,
And I
next
bet
time,
Ishan?
eh?
I mean, I'm
Sorry?
happy that you
Ishan
have this
as well?
internship, so yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, did you mention me?
Yeah,
Yes.
What did you say? I missed you.
yeah. When I come to Bangalore?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not pretty far away from Bangalore, but let's see.
I mean, you see, Lucas is a really super nice guy over the call, and I'm pretty sure he's way, way, way super nice in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully you got the meaning way more.
Want to say something, Lucas?
No, you're not good in advertising conferences. You're scaring people.
Hey, Tilly, you
I
gotta do
might
your
actually
thing.
be in Bangalore around that time. So if I am there, I'll be sure to drop.
Yeah, man, looking forward to that.
All
Okay,
right, so
any
yes, so
other
we'll be heading
suggestion?
to
Okay, continue, Tilly.
suggestion.
No, please continue.
Oh, I was saying that's okay. So I was saying, yeah, we're heading to Bengaluru on the 30th of November. And the agenda, we have amazing speakers actually. So the agenda hopefully will be out by the end of the week or earliest next week. So that is what we have for Bengaluru.
I think talking about agenda, I think the folks who applied for the cover papers, reach out to you about confirmation.
Yes. They should have gotten their emails on Monday.
Cool.
Yesterday.
Cool. And then I was getting bust up,
Why?
so I was thinking maybe you haven't.
You should
Yeah,
send
thanks.
these people to me. You. Why?
I've been sending I've been
DM.
sending so many people to you. Yeah, but I promised them they will
Noise,
get an
yeah.
email.
Yes, so if you submitted a talk for the Bangalore edition, you should got your emails yesterday. So all the selection has been done and majority of the speakers confirmed actually. So agenda should be ready earliest next week or later this week. Yeah.
Cool. I'm talking about conference. Okay, we have a question from Akshat. Conference is free for TSA members.
Yes, conference is free for TSC members. Yes.
Nice. Thank God I'm a TSC. So talking about conference, the last conference, which is I think by on Tour Madrid, the Madrid edition. Are the slides available?
No, we don't have the slides available, but all the talks are recorded and available on YouTube. So
Okay.
I can share the
Okay.
link actually.
Yeah, because someone was suggesting we have a section in the website where we can have like folks download the slides from each speakers. So we plan on having that feature implemented mostly for past events. So I was thinking if we would have something similar also for Madrid. But I think we can just probably just link to each speaker's video, right? Instead of slides.
Yeah, for Madrid we have the recording, so I don't think it will be necessary to have slides. For London, yes, we will have slides since we don't have any video, of which there is issue open. So if anyone wants to work on adding this London slides to the website, the issue is open. They can, if there's a contributor who's interested.
Do you have the slides
Nice.
already?
For London?
Yes. Yes, I have like half of them. Some speakers couldn't send because of security reasons and company policies, but yeah, half of them with you.
This is really so. Like we can see how it's implemented. Since folks are like requesting, we have the slides on the website.
Remember, we have Bounty, and this seems like not good first issue, but something more complex because you have to have some config with links and then supported in the website. So yeah, as long as you as a maintainers can make sure that you provide regular feedback and onboard someone, then it's a good bounty issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, thanks. Nice. I would definitely submit one.
Okay, cool.
Any other thing?
What else? The clock is ticking. Tick tock, tick tock. No,
I mean, we have
I
just
don't
2
have
minutes
any
left.
other thing. Nope.
Okay, so no other thing. Okay, I guess that would be the end of today's call. Thanks, Ishan. You've been thanks for joining. Thanks everyone for joining. I guess that will be the end of today's call. Bye, guys.
Thanks.